Hello everybody. So this is a gearing guide for people who have reached item rating 306. This guide will help to cover things like armorings, amplifiers, the power mods you do use, critical, alacrity and accuracy stats. This guide is more centered towards DPS compared. This guide is not for tanks, and healers can follow along, but the stats are slightly more different for healers compared to DPS. For one thing, you will not need accuracy. There are also some DPS classes that will not follow this standard stats, as you can see from the screen right now. Other than that, if you fall into the category, if you're a DPS, you can, or a healer, you can follow along with this video and learn more, and you can follow along with the guides and resources section from Discord to get the proper stats for your specific class. Okay, first I want to go through armorings. So with armorings, you want to be using Superior Versatile Armoring 80s or Superior Versatile Armorings 80R-1. As you can see, there are different armorings with numbers denoted at the back. Only R-1s are the ones that you should go for, or unnumbered. Anything which is 80R-2, or in this case 80R-10, you should just deconstruct them. There's no point in keeping them because they are substituting mastery for more endurance, and you do not want to be stacking endurance neither as a tank, a healer or a DPS. And then moving on from the armorings, each armoring has amplifiers attached to it. We also have amplifiers on the mods itself, but you do not want to be focusing on these mod amplifiers. The armoring amplifiers have damage increase, whereas the mods amplifiers do not have any damage increase. They are strictly for things like crafting, as you can see, or slicing or crew skills, that sort of thing. So they do not help in terms of your healing or your survivability or your damage output. So with the armorings, I'm going to show you on the screen right now. These are the armorings that you should be aiming for these specific advanced classes. Each different armoring has different capped values of gold. So for example, right now, a gold weapon expertise only goes up to 1.2%, whereas armor penetration goes up to 2.5%. But either way, they're all gold. So gold is the highest that you can get. And whenever you are getting doing any sort of content and you get these armorings, 80Rs or 80R-1s, you save them and you just start re-rolling them. Like for example, right now, this is one that I have from a drop, and I just start recalibrating them, and I'll see if I get any goals. If I get a goal, I'll stop. If there is no goal, then I will stop at 30k. As you can see, the number will continue to increase, so please have some self-control. Do not burn all your credits. If at 30k you don't get what you want or you don't get any goals, then scrap them. If you, for example, get a gold that's like for example Alpha Strike, this is not one of the recommended amplifiers that I showed on the screenshots earlier just now. So those as well, just grab them. But if you get anything on the list of amplifiers from the screenshot that I showed, keep them even if it's not for that specific tune. So for example, right now I have armor penetration, which is what is required for infiltration shadow. But let's say if I get force sensitivity, a goal, I would just save that in my legacy bank, and in the future when I actually do want to like gear up my SOC, which in this case I'm actually already geared up on my SOC. But if you want to gear up your SOC in the future, you can just pull that out from your legacy bank and you're ready to go. So before I go any further in this video, I just want to explain what kind of content that I do. So I normally am a PvPer, and I also do PvE content. I've also do nightmare content. But for this video, I am specifically going to focus on gearing for PvP and PvE. And when I refer to PvE, I mean story mode and veteran mode. This guide will not help you if you are actually doing nightmare content, but if you're at the point where you're doing nightmare content, you should already be knowing more about this. So with mastery and power, if you're doing any sort of level 70 content, which is basically any of the operations except for Nature of Progress Duxon, your mastery and your power will be capped. So let me just go on to a level 70 planet, and I can give you a quick show of what happens when you are on a level 70 content. Okay, so right now I'm in a master mode flashpoint, and as you can see, some of the numbers have turned yellow. So as right now we have my mastery, endurance and power, which have been brought down lower. Basically they've been capped. You can see if I hover my mouse over each of the stats, you can see what's my original mastery, which is in this case 12k mastery, 20k endurance and 10k power. But because I'm on level 70 content, which is where I am right now, those stats have been brought down. Basically, if you're doing only PvE and you have no interest in PvP at all, or you have no interest in doing progression on the Nature of Progress Duxon, basically, then power might not matter as much to you. But for those who are doing those sort of content, which is PvP or Nature of Progress, power would matter. And for my case, I always try to get 10k power at least. So when I'm getting mods, you want to be going for lethal superior mods, ADR, not 80 AR or 80 B or 80 A, just 80 R. And even then there's a variety of mods just under 80 R. Anything between 1 to 5 I would keep. Basically like anything which has over 350 power. A regular mod, super lethal mod 80 with no numbers will have only 139 power. But you can see with an R3, and R1 has like about 360 power. R2s, R3s, R4s. Once you get to R6, then it drops below 350. But I'll still keep them. But basically this is how you try to squeeze out your power and try to get it higher to 10k as possible. Another thing that you need to get 10k power is, of course, you need purple augments at the minimum. You will not be able to hit this if you are doing using blue augments, but that's a good thing if you are basically only interested in doing story mode operations and not doing any sort of progression, and you don't really want to like hit those high numbers. Then you can go with the blue augments. Okay, now let's talk about enhancements. So with enhancements, firstly for PvE content, if you're playing a DPS class, all DPS classes will need 110% accuracy. This is non-negotiable. because you will all bosses have 10% defense chance. So basically you need 110% accuracy in order to mitigate that 10% defense chance the boss has. If not, your DPS will indeed drop. How I, for example, get 10% accuracy, this is going into the specific kind of gearing that I do for the standard DPS. So as you can see right now on the screen again, I have basically categorized what are the standard DPS and what are the non-standard DPS and what their accuracy, alacrity and crits should be. For the non-standard DPS, unfortunately, you should go to the guides and resources section to find out what is the exact alacrity that you should get. But for both of you, standard and non-standard DPS, you should have a minimum of 110% accuracy. So how I achieve this with my tune is basically I have 2 implants, and one of my implants has an accuracy augment, and then I have an enhancement in my offhand. So that would that's not enough. One more important thing is you will need your stim. So you will need advanced Kyprex proficient stim. Minimum, I'm not sure if a blue is enough, but I mostly make purples. If you are a biochemist and can make the reusable ones, then even better to you. But basically 2 implants or 1 earpiece and 1 implant plus an accuracy augment plus an enhancement with your crit stim, that will give you 110% accuracy. So when you are looking at the stats, make sure you open up your stats, you look at the bottom, you click force, and then you can see how much is your accuracy. So next thing is, of course, you do not want to overshoot your accuracy as well. With my offhand, my accuracy enhancement is at 80R-20, and when it comes to enhancements, my rule is save anything that is between 80R-15 to 20. Also, one important thing is you must be using initiative superior enhancements. There are some weird enhancements like called proficient superior. Do not use those. For accuracy, you use initiatives. For implants and earpieces, they are called ShATech initiatives. So go for those. So you can see ShATech adapt. This is for, yep. So with the 80R-20, I have slightly less accuracy, but more power. So this is again how I squeeze out power and hitting 10k, that sort of thing. So if you have like any enhancements, like anything like maybe higher than 350, any enhancements like that, you save them. Okay, like I said, you need 110% accuracy for PvE content, but when it comes to PvP, you do not need 110% accuracy. For most classes, you only need 105% accuracy. And if you're playing a Madness Sorcerer, a Lightning Sorcerer, Telekinetic Sage, and a Balanced Sage, as well as a Scrapper Scoundrel or a Concealment Operative. Basically, these 3 advanced classes plus their mirror respective classes, they do not require any accuracy, because their abilities are all yellow damage abilities. So what is a yellow damage ability? What is a white damage ability? I'll show you in a second. Okay, so right now I'm on my Sorc, and the only ability that would do white damage is basically my single Saber Strike. So this is the basic attack which we do not use as a Sorc. So as you can see, as I hit the dummy, white numbers are coming out. So basically these abilities require accuracy. When you're doing PvE PvP of course. Like I said, in PvE, it doesn't matter if it's white damage or if it's yellow damage, which is force or tech attacks. So these are force abilities. So you can see the yellow numbers coming off. You can see it's all yellow numbers. Okay. So obviously when you are in a PvE content, these yellow numbers, they can miss as well. And when you see a miss, it is called resist. And normally if you are doing PvE content and you see the ability resist, it means that your accuracy is not up to 110% yet. In PvP, if you see deflect or resist, it means that the enemy has probably popped a defensive cooldown to help resist or mitigate your abilities, that sort of thing. But generally speaking, unless you are playing a Sorc, or if you are playing a Sage, or a Concealment Operative, or Scrapper Scoundrel, these are the only classes that have all yellow damage and they do not do any white damage. If you're doing something like a Guardian or Assassin, you have a mix of force abilities and weapon damage abilities. So those weapon damage abilities are white numbers, so accuracy is important there. Okay, so the next thing I want to go through is, of course, Alacrity. What the Alacrity does is basically it affects your cooldowns and it affects your GCD. When we say GCD, this means global cooldown. And what a global cooldown is basically it prevents you from spamming abilities over and over and over instantly. So as you can see right now, you'll see I'm spamming my ability, and you can see that there's like, I can't keep spamming it. This is the global cooldown slowly going down. And then your regular cooldowns are like, for example, this. So right now it's 1 minute, this is a regular cooldown, that sort of thing. So when you hear somebody say that this ability is off the global cooldown, it means that I can basically instantly hit that ability and attack ability. So battle readiness, for example, is off the global cooldown, and then you'll see me spam Whirling Blade. So here it goes. See, I could hit that both at the same time. But if, let's say, for example, if I want to pop Resilience, which is on the global cooldown. Oh, actually no, that's not. That's let me give something else. Force Wave, that's on the global cooldown. Yep. See, I can't quickly spam Force Wave and then Whirling Blade. So know which are your abilities which are on the global cooldown and off the global cooldown. Okay, so with that said, the next thing I want to go through is the guild Alacrity buff. So some of you might not be familiar with this. Now is your time to learn. Basically, you gotta make sure that on your guild window for the perks, this Zeal set bonus is highlighted. Normally to get this Zeal set bonus, you need 4 with the set bonus. So you can see set bonus with the hourglass 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need a minimum of 4 to get the Zeal set bonus. And what this Zeal set bonus does is it increases your Alacrity by 5%. This buff does not occur in PvP or master mode operations. That is why this guide, I'm definitely, the stats is all different for master modes. Now that I've explained to you what is a global cooldown, and I've explained to you the alacrity boost given to us by the guild perks, I'll go through the actual enhancements. So with the enhancements, you want to be going with nimble superior enhancements. Again, you want to be going choosing between either ADR 15 to ADR 20. Basically because the reason why is those values have higher power compared to alacrity, and you do not want to be overshooting alacrity. You want to just hit 1, 2, 1, 3 alacrity, and then anything higher would just be a waste of points that you could put into other parts of like power and the sort of thing. So as you can see, like whenever I get nimble superior enhancements, which are anything between like 15 to 20, I'll save them. And how I set up my gear is for PvP. This is, like I said, this is my PvP's gear. So for PvP, I have my 2 implants, and then I have my offhand. I mean my main hand that has an accuracy and alacrity enhancement. And then when I go into PvE, I'll just bring back my accuracy implants, and then I will have I'll have enough accuracy. I'll have enough alacrity because the guild alacrity buff will put me at 7.53% alacrity. I know it shows 10% here, but when you're doing the actual content for operations, all this, it'll be 5%. But then when you're going to war zones or you're doing nightmare content, you lose this 5%. So that's where I'll swap out the 5% of accuracy for 5% of alacrity. That's how I set up my gear. Okay, the last stat that you should worry about is critical. So once you've settled your accuracy and alacrity enhancements and got them to the stats that are perfect, you can dump the rest of your enhancements into critical as well as augments. Minimum you should have is 3200 critical. Anything lower, it starts to drop off quite a bit. Anything higher, it starts to give you less and less gains. That is why doing blue augments are fine, especially if you're just doing story mode operations. You don't care about PvP, because with PvP you need the purples minimum to get that 10k power. And I'm using all critical, I'm using 13 critical augments and 1 accuracy augment, which right now for PvP it's all critical, but for PvE I'll have 1 accuracy augment. With that said, the enhancements that you want to go for critical is adapt superior enhancements. You follow the same rule that you follow for accuracy and alacrity. Get anything between R15 to R20 to squeeze out that power. When you are getting your implants and earpieces, make sure it's ShardTech Adapt, ShardTech Quick Savan for your alacrity, I forgot to mention, and ShardTech Initiative for your implants. Okay, with your barrels and hilts, you want to be going for superior versatile hilts 80 or 80R-1s, or superior versatile barrel R-1 or 80 itself. And for your color crystals, if you are doing level 70 content, take critical crystals. If you are doing PvP or Duxon or PvP or Duxon, go for either power or mastery. I go with power because I'm trying to hit. I have the rule of hitting 10k power minimum. Anything above 10k power, I would just save it for. I will just put in other stats. Okay, so I almost forgot about the relics. With the relics, if you are doing any form of content which is capped mastery or capped power, that means any form of level 70 content, you want to be using the relic of Primeval Fate Sealer, which is a click relic, so you have to have it equipped on your hotbar to click it and use it. So this will increase your alacrity, and you will use the Devastating Vengeance relic, which is a critical relic, because like I said, alacrity and critical are not capped in level 70 content, but power, mastery, and endurance are. If you're doing PvP war zones, arenas, or if you're doing Duxon, which is a level 75 content, you can use these two relics. Hold on, let me swap it out. The Focus Retribution, which is basically increasing your mastery, and Serendipitous Assault, which increases your power. Both relics, they proc and activate automatically. You do not need to click them. Okay, so for the last part of this video, I just want to talk about the Spoils of War vendor. This is how I gamble away my capped tech frags. So on the supply section of the Imperial fleet or the Republic fleet, you'll come here to Spoils of War vendor, and this is where I normally buy my mods and enhancements. Do not bother with Armorings. You get enough of the Armorings from doing the content. Just go to the Spoils of War vendor and try to see if you can get some good mods or enhancements. So yeah, just dump it all.
Now we're talking.
I'll get a few enhancements and power mods.
Not bad. Not too shabby. All right.
Okay, let's take a look. So see, this is a 80 AR, so this is trash. This is R15. Like I said, I only keep between R1 to R5, so scrap this. This is a AR. No, this is a R3, so I'm saving this. This is a BR3, so nope. This is a proficient superior enhancement stem. Like I said, I want initiative enhancements, superior initiatives. So this is going to be scrapped. This is a initiative superior enhancement, and like I said, any enhancement between R15 to R20 I'll keep. Proficient, not initiative, scrap. Efficient, not adept. So I want adept enhancements, so I'll scrap those as well. So happy hunting, happy min-maxing of your gear, people. That's the end of the video.